Reflections is the name of a famous Supreme song, and that is just what some of the Supremes did today. They reflected at a special reunion, and we will take you there.
And get ready for a supreme occasion, a very special reunion when we come back. For one of the greatest singing groups of all time, our Dave Clark was there for the unveiling of the newest star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
It was the kind of welcome the Supremes were used to. MaryWilson was the only original Supreme on hand to celebrate the legendary group's addition to the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The Supremes, Diana Ross, MaryWilson, and Florence Ballard. They had 12 #1 singles in 5 years, sold 50 million records. The first hit came 30 years ago, a song called Where Did Our Love Go? They battled the Beatles for superstardom in the 60s.
We proved the American dream. We were the American dream.
MaryWilson told the crowd Diana Ross was in Europe and couldn't be there. Florence Ballard died several years ago. But friends and fans filled the area, giving support, making the moment magic. The Temptations, Dick Clark, and Berry Gordy, the founder of Motown Records.
Diana, Mary, and Florence, and later Cindy, made their mark on history that will never, ever be removed.
The Supremes.
Their songs, MaryWilson said, were songs of love and hope.
We came along at a time in the world when black people were not even considered citizens. 1964, we had our first hit records. We became citizens. We became divas.
Even without Diana Ross and Florence Ballard, this special honor lived up to its billing, just like the Supremes always did. In Hollywood, Dave Clark, Channel 9 News.
The star presented to the Supremes was number 2026 on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Congratulations, girls.
Absolutely.
They were fabulous.
More than due, yeah.
No question. The Supremes.
Eyewitness, all-time 60s favorite. It earned its reputation for a lot of soul. The Supremes got their mark today on the Hollywood Boulevard. Star number 2026 dedicated today to Diana Ross, Florence Ballard, and MaryWilson, the trio of singers who virtually defined the Motown sound 30 years ago. They became America's top-selling vocal group of all time, charting a dozen #1 singles in 5 years. Their star located 7050 Hollywood Boulevard. Good group. Love that group.
The best. I agree with you there.
Come on, boy, see about me.
And some of the Supremes get together for an encore performance. We'll take you there.
Supremes were honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. MaryWilson accepted the honor Friday on behalf of her Supreme singing partners, Diana Ross, Cindy Birdsong, and the late Florence Ballard.
MaryWilson may not have been the lead singer in the group, but she was always the heart and soul of the Supremes.
I do think the Supremes in 1964 showed the world that black was not only beautiful, that black women were gorgeous, talented. We were ambitious. We won. We proved the American dream. We were the American dream.
Hollywood Boulevard, and was the culmination of a career that, in a word, was phenomenal. Fans turned out to see what many thought would have happened years ago. The Supremes on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Back in the early 60s, 3 young girls needed for someone to believe in them. They found that in a man named Berry Gordy, who was on hand to talk about the group, and especially MaryWilson.
Diana, Mary, and Florence, and later Cindy, made their mark on history that will never, ever be removed. They will always be there, and today is one indication that we will be able to see them and walk over them forever. MaryWilson may not have been the lead singer in the group, but she was always the heart and soul of the Supremes.
But it was Mary that threw emotion into the crowd and into their hearts when she talked about the divas that were the Supremes.
I thoroughly appreciate the songs that we sung because I think that they were about love, they were about hope, they were about happiness. I think that we, the Supremes, touched a lot of lives. I think we were about more than music. We were about hope. We were the American dream. We came along at a time in the world when black people were not even considered citizens. 1964, we had our first hit records. We became citizens. We became divas.
The group that many say defined the sound of Motown received star number 2026. And although Diana Ross couldn't be there because of prior commitments, MaryWilson says her friend was there in spirit and in her heart.
Supremes finally have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Diana Ross couldn't make it to Friday's ceremony, so MaryWilson did the honors. It was Wilson's first public appearance since a car accident killed her son. Wilson says with the star comes recognition of the group's importance in helping to break through the color barriers of the early 1960s.
For me personally, it means that I, along with Diana and Flo, helped to change the way people looked at black women. It meant that we raised a social consciousness about black people.
These Detroit schoolgirls broke both racial and gender barriers, as well as creating great music to dance to and listen to.
That black women were gorgeous, talented. We were ambitious. We won. We proved the American dream. We were the American dream.
The Supremes helped Americans by giving us a dream. Now their fans have given them a dream come true, a star on Hollywood Boulevard.